My name is Makani Christensen. I'm coming to you live from Hawaii. I am tying today the Ghetto Superfly, and it's proven to be one of the most effective flies in Hawaii for bonefish. I use it all the time. And remember, if you want to catch bonefish, it's about knowledge and what you know. Because you could be out there casting away, but if you're not doing it right, not going to catch anything. But the Ghetto Superfly, when I created it, was it resembles a mantis shrimp. Mantis shrimp are these mystical, powerful creatures that have talons that are the most gnarly, fastest talons in the world, and they're able to stun fish just by um, using their whatever they call the freaking Velociraptor freaking talents. Anyway, but the mantis shrimp that I created here, to get a superfly, it resembles the shape. Remember, the shape is key when catching fish. A lot of times the fish may not see all the details that you have on the fly, but what they will see is they'll see the shape and they'll see that shape moving by and they're like, oh, that right there, that's food. I want it. I want in. So remember, the shape is key. That's the first element of everything. Color, I honestly don't know the colors that these fish see. Um, I don't know how they test for that. Maybe they do test for it, but whatever. I do know that I changed the colors just to kind of see if they react a different way. And I've seen them react a different way to like green, red, brown. So when I see those reactions, it in my mind, I'm like, okay, these guys can see color and they're adjusting for the colors that we're sending their way. Um, it could be contrast, but I've seen fish react way different for black versus brown versus sand color. So, I mean, it could be the time of day, the mood that these fish are in, the moon cycle, the barometric pressure, if there's a hurricane out, if there's an earthquake happening, the list of many things that could adjust the way these fish think and their behaviors for eating. Um, yeah. So yesterday I spent pretty much the entire day. I was going to do office work, but I did not. So if I did not get back to you, um, what's up, J. Carroll? Just hi. If I did not get back to you on email or whatever, sorry. Um, and I know I'm supposed to call a couple guys back about possibly fishing tomorrow, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably call you, but I don't know. I kind of these fish have been giving me a hard time, so I might have to just go down there alone and tag one of these guys. But the tide has been super high in the morning. It was on Maui in the middle of the day. High clouds rolled in and super windy. Couldn't see anything. I had to wait till the evening to try and get one. I did not quit, but bruh, nothing like black coffee for those guys that went sober. Yeah, and that's the other thing, guys. It's been 162 days of my sobriety, 63 days. And never looked back. You guys see a lot more content coming from fly fishing Hawaii. In fact, all in all, life is just better without alcohol in my life. I transitioned because I'm getting older. Um, you can make really stupid decisions on alcohol, except my kids. I got kids because I was probably drinking. Um, I'm kidding, but probably was. Uh, and just the amount of work that I've been able to accomplish um, since I stopped alcohol has been phenomenal, right? I mean, still, I procrastinate and do other things and distract myself all the time, but Nonetheless, the amount of output and being 100% every single day is mind blowing. And then, after, if you are in the same situation and you're transitioning um through with alcohol to something different, just remember that you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there that are going through the same dependencies, or they're getting into a routine where they're bored every night and just start drinking and just doing something to make them feel less bored. Whatever the case is, it does affect your health. Um, and maybe sometimes something might happen and you might get extreme with it. I know I do. Um, so I stopped. And but you're not alone, because there's a lot of people out there that just don't say anything. I mean, they're probably your neighbors, whatever, going through a lot of stuff that you just don't know about it. And it could be your family members too. So always check in, yeah. It's important. Mental illness, not even mental illness, just stress, just regular life. Uh, People are different times in their life where they feel different, and they feel maybe they have no purpose. So purpose is important. So maintain your purpose out there. If you can wake up every morning, have a list of goals, have some purpose in your life. Hey, what am I going to do today? What's my purpose? And if you are in limbo right now, just think of something, go small, baby steps. Okay. If life is like super shitty for you right now, just go super baby steps. Okay. Just start with like rolling out of bed. Okay. And then think of the next positive thing and just take it one step at a time. Okay. There's the door. I've got to go to the door and walk outside. Don't take it like the whole day at once. This is what I'm going to do if it's super, super difficult. Baby steps. Okay. Especially for individuals that are going through a hard time right now. You could have death in your family, broke up with your wife, you're going through a divorce, which is super hard. I mean, every one of these things that I'm mentioning right now is super hard, and we all go through it one time or two times in our lives. Um, we're not immune, right? We're lucky that we live in Hawaii. We're not going through a lot of craziness right now. We're lucky we live in the United States, to be honest. Um, People talk about other countries, how great they are. It's pretty great in America. Um, and just remember, it could always be worse than the situation you're facing today. But right now, the situation you're facing could be like fucking super gnarly, right? And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, because that situation that you're dealing with is your situation, yeah. Um, and if substance, or and I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but this is my life, right? If substance or anything gets in that way of you living like um in a healthy, more coherent, a better way. So you're not affecting your body and maybe your family, your kids. Yeah. So just make sure you make the right decisions out there. And if you do decide to go sober, hey, don't be ashamed of going out and getting help. Go to AA. Don't be afraid to walk in the park where there's hundreds, thousands of people, um, or whatever. Like a lot of people in the park where you gotta. It's not a walk of shame if you're going to a AA meeting in the park. It's a walk of freaking um, smartness. A walk of like, or things got really really shitty and you just have to go. Um, but it should never feel like you're ashamed to go to a meeting because you can't do it alone. Okay. Because the more ashamed thing for you to do is, let's say you turn 65, 70 years old, all of a sudden those things that you've been doing your whole life caught up with you. Now you can't even lift the fork. Your brain is gone. And you're having you don't know where your help is going to come from, right? These things are going to come up fast. Well, anyway, long story short, just um, make sure you take care of yourself because there's short term and then there's long term. So yeah, and I just when I do these fly fishing tying things, I talk about the most random things, and it could be anything from sobriety to freaking growing plants to history lessons. I I read and I try to gain as much knowledge as humanly possible, um, as time allows, to I don't know, increase your brain capacity, but I just literally want to learn, the history of our country, the history of Hawaiians, my people, history of Native America, history of everything. And it's pretty rad. And that could be your purpose. Your purpose changes in life, but have a purpose in life, guys. So with that, I know a lot of you guys probably going to work right now. We're talking about fly time. We're talking about fly fishing, and Hawaii in general is one of the hardest places to catch bonefish. So I'm off the box about talking about the other stuff, about sobriety and stuff, and whatever affects your life. But fly fishing in Hawaii is super difficult. There's a ton of fish, and if you can get close to these fish and catch them and catch a fish in Hawaii, you can catch a fish anywhere. Keep that in mind, guys. Catch a fish in Hawaii, you can catch a fish anywhere. These are the hardest fish to catch. So YouTube is a great platform for the my fly fishing thing. As you guys know, we do sell these flies. These are proven flies. You can see from all the videos. In majority of the videos, I've either using this one. I use Oscar the Grouch. That's the fly I made up for that day. Um, I've used ET Mantis, the Corrupt Hawaiian, and early on videos, I used a bunch of different flies that I learned from Ed Tamai, or late Ed Tamai, and Coach Duff, who I bought his boat and his fly tying desk and his life. So yeah, we do sell these flies on a Shopify account. You can find that. That's another thing I'll link to YouTube later. You can also sign up for our workshop. We have two more spots on Maui for November 8th, 2025. Um, it's almost full. We got myself, the Corrupt Hawaiian, and Johan. Johan's the guide from Maui. He'll be at the workshop helping out. We have the Corrupt Hawaiian. He's coming in to help tie flies and um teach the class on fly casting and everything like that. Give pointers. So this is a wealth of information here in Hawaii. One of the first um, workshops for fly fishing. Fly fishing has been gaining momentum here in Hawaii at a rapid rate and becoming more popular throughout the United States. So this is going to be the first workshop since I've been fly fishing that I've ever heard of in Hawaii. But I wouldn't doubt that Louis the Fish, he would probably be, or Don, would be the people that would have taught a fly fishing workshop back in the day. That's obviously this 2 generations ago, but solid fishermen. And I'm sure they did a workshop, but it's been many, many, many moons. So if you do want to sign up, 2 spots left, and that's it. After that, I mean, we could probably throw a couple more people in because we got a lot of instructors, right? More instructors, more time with everyone. Where is that freaking wire brush? Kind of cheap method right now. Oh well. Dubbing. Let's go. And if you have watched the videos, you have the Cortland starter kit, great kit. I'm going to talk about that for a second here. So the Cortland starter kit is um saltwater series. The fly line is awesome. I've caught several bones with the starter kit. The only thing is, but this is how I grew up with all my saltwater gear back in the day. The the gear that you had could not be dunked in the water. And so when I first transitioned to fly, and this is still talking about the Cortland starter kit. When I transitioned to fly fishing back in the day, I mean, just yeah, yeah. When I transitioned to fly fishing back in the day, and I saw that people were dunking my reel, I was like, bro, my reel is allergic to water because growing up in the spinning world and salt water, you never submerged your reel or anything in the water because your reel would have to be taken apart, cleaned, and then assembled again. It's just because that salt water just eats everything and your reel would no longer work. So the Cortland is basically that. The reel that it comes with, it works. It has a solid drag. Well, the drag works. It tightens all the way. Um, and but the bearings are not sealed. So you can get to the bearings. Water will go into it. If you can dry it off every time, grease it up every single time that you submerge that reel, or just don't submerge your reel, the reel is going to be fine on the Cortland starter kit. And the Cortland starter kit also, the line, so don't submerge it. Make sure you maintain that reel. And that reel and that starter kit is all you need for saltwater fishing here in Hawaii. You don't, and the price range, $199. Freaking not bad for starting out. And it comes with the line, comes with backing, everything. But you have to maintain the reel. Now, all right, what's that? This is the Ghetto Superfly. But so maintain the reel. And in fact, I got the box right there. Hold on. Right here's the box. Okay. So they sell it at Choke Fishing Supply here in Maui. So if you do come to Maui, you forget your fly rod, whatever, and you just want to go out there and fly fish, um, you can pick up these rods, no problem, from Choke Fishing Supply. Also, you got to remember that if you do pick up these rods and you're going bone fishing, you have to change the nail knot that is the transition between the backing and the fly line. Because if you don't, you can just pull that apart and you're going to lose the first fish you catch, the first bonefish that takes you into the backing. That's guarantee. So what I do is I put a braided loop in my transition. So that braided loop from fly line to the actual um, fly I mean, fly line to backing is super important. And with the backing, I do a bimini twist because it's not a hollow um, type backing. So once you do that, and you got to put a new leader on, obviously. It comes with a leader, but the leader is not strong enough to catch one of these massive bonefish if you do land hook into one of these things. So key if you do get the Cortland starter kit. But other than that, we're at 19 minutes, 39 seconds, and I think that's a great time to transition off of this. I'm just going to finish this one up. We'll play at least one game of Fortnite, get ready to load some stuff into the car and get out there and just try to catch some bones real quick, kind. I'm not going to be there all day, just for a second. And that's what I always say, right? You start off like, oh, I'm just going to be here for like a couple hours. Next thing you know, it's been half the day. And yeah, so I'll get back here. I got to do some work. Got payroll due, all these things. All right, with that, there's your ghetto superfly. And when you do fish with it, twist the tail, keep it together. The sides got to be same size as your eyes all the way through. You want a rectangle shape. There you go.